Have
Oh, there we
oh,
go. Why the screen? The screen got so bright, man. I was like, I need to put some sunglasses on to look over at your screen over there.
You finally taught me how to do it.
Don't blame me for your lighting right now. Oh,
Sorry.
well, this is our first official, even though this is going to be the second episode of the new year, this is our first recording of 2023, I believe. Is that right?
Yes. Open up your audio. Open up your audio.
Oh, yeah,
Open
maybe I
up
should
your
record that.
QuickTime.
So, hope everyone had a
I'm
good
barely
holidays.
hanging on over here.
She's holding on by a glass of wine. We we were talking about New Year's. Happy New Year's to everyone. Happy whatever else happened over the past. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you all had a good holiday. Welcome back. We're trying to get back in the swing of things here. I'm normally the one who's tired, so I'm gonna have to carry Allison this time because she's barely awake over there.
It's night. It's 7:32.
Wow, 7:32. How are you functioning
Well,
right
no.
now?
Here's the issue. Here's my issue.
Please tell me.
I have been waking up later, and my kids have been going to bed later over Christmas break, and I've been waking up probably like an hour and a half later than I normally do. So I normally wake up at like 6:15, 6:30, and I've been sleeping until like 8.
Oh,
I mean, it's like
wow.
luxurious.
You're just wasting your whole life
sleeping
away.
in. I know, right? And now this is the week. So yesterday was my kid's first day at school, but we didn't like practice going back to bed. We didn't get back in our normal routine. So yesterday and today was the first time I had my alarm go off at 6:15 in over 2 weeks.
Mm-mm.
And I was, but I've just hyped up. I'm going through a launch right now. So like my mind is racing. So I'm going to bed like hours later than I normally do. I'm waking up now.
What time are you going to sleep now?
Well, last night I was laying in bed trying to fall asleep starting at like 10:30, and the last time I looked at the alarm, the clock was like 12:08.
You stayed up until the next day?
Yes.
I cannot believe it. I am shocked.
I know. And then I also did that on New Year's Eve. We said everyone we toasted, we were with friends, and then I was like, time to go to bed, guys. I've been ready. Let's go.
Okay, when it comes to New Year's, are you someone who on New Year's Eve you're up all the way through the ball dropping or whatever people watch and through midnight and then you're up talking, or are you like, I'm only hanging on long enough to see the clock roll over to the new year and I'm falling asleep?
You know, I've gone through seasons in my life. Like, I did New Year's Eve in New York City once. Not at Times Square, but like...
Oh, I was going to ask you.
Like, clubs, then going to an after party. Like, I mean, you look at Allison, like, 20 through, I don't know, or maybe like more like 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Like, oh yeah.
You were living it up.
I'm living it up. Once I had kids... everything changed.
That's what I'm hearing. I hear that over and over again from people.
Everything changed. And so now I'm like, okay, if it's just us, like last year, it was just the 4 of us at home. It was fun. And my kids were like determined to stay up. One of my kids, after the ball dropped at 11 p.m., because we watched the ball drop at 11. Do y'all watch it at like 7 or 8?
Who are you watching the ball drop at? New York, I'm guessing?
In New York. They display it in real time. So we see the ball drop at 11. And after the 11 o'clock, James was like, I'm out. See ya. This was last year.
I've seen all I need to see.
And then Evan was like, I can do it. I can stay awake. And he stayed awake until midnight and then was like, okay, this wasn't worth it. Went to bed.
It's never worth it.
And then it goes from New York City. Then we watch the last hour in New Orleans. And then we watched the fleur-de-lis drop for our New Year's.
I watched no ball drop, no item drop from the sky. I think since I gave up cable like 10 years ago, I've never watched it anymore because I'm like, I'm not gonna go look for a channel.
It's just on regular TV. Matt and I have watched it in the past when we had kids that like would go to bed really early and we'll play like Phase 10. And then that's how we learned about like a long time ago. Do you remember the podcast Serial?
Oh yeah, that was huge.
Yes, that was huge. So we didn't know about it, but they went back and they like rewound, like, here are the best things from this year. And one of the things was that podcast. And so we were like, we've got to listen to this podcast. So, you know, like we liked watching that shows to be like, oh, what are all the cool kids doing? Let's check it out a year late.
Oh, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, you don't even figure out what the cool kids are doing. You never find out.
I don't know. I don't even know who the cool kids are to even go look to see
I
what
don't
they're
even.
doing. I don't know what's happening.
I'm pretty sure everything's just run by a whole bunch of millennials and everyone's a millennial. That's the way I see
No,
it.
it's Gen Z now. We're the old people now.
I know,
We're
but
the
they don't
oldies. We don't know
know
what's going
about
on.
them.
We don't know what's happening.
But we run things. We run things. You see, people, they underestimated us and we slowly took over. And look at us now.
You know, I just saw this TikTok video and they were saying like, you know, people are like, oh, those millennials, no responsibility. And they're like, no, we're now old. We're in our almost our 40s now. We're the bosses in these jobs now. So don't get mad at your boss because they're just a beat down millennial who's
Yep.
dealing with what life has dealt them. They're not the man.
Yep. Yep. I
Uh,
agree. Okay, are you in? Okay, you're in. Have you started recording?
I'm everywhere. I started recording. I'm in Discord.
Oh, I just now started recording. My bad.
That's okay. Well, we got to clap anyways. All
Okay,
right, you ready?
let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, clap. Whoa, why was
Oh, I
that?
am super.
Did you clap on clap or did you make up your own place where you need to clap?
I clapped on clap. Can we do that again? That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
I feel like you didn't
Did
clap
anyone
on
else see
clap.
that?
I feel like
I
you
did.
just clapped
I
at some
did.
undisclosed point in time you chose.
No, I clapped on clap. Here, I'll say it now.
Okay.
I'll say it so you'll hear my clap at the 0.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay. Wait, there is no 0.
Okay.
That's your problem. You're adding a 0 in.
Don't worry about it. 1, 2, 3, 0, clap.
See, that's your problem. You're just making up stuff.
Okay, fine.
No,
Okay,
that's good. I
okay.
think we got it. We got it.
3, 2. I just want to clap. I'm going to say clap at the same time that I clap. Clap. Oh my gosh. I am so delayed.
What do you mean? You're how are you delayed on your own side?
I am delayed on my own side. Like crazy.
Well, you're fine. Over here, there's no delay for me, so I think you're fine.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Whoa,
Whatever.
this is gonna be a rough night. I can already tell.
Woo!
Oh yeah, Logan said, "Why does 0 come after 3?" I'd also like to know that.
I don't know. I just wanted to,
I would also like
wanted
to
to
know
mess
why you
with you.
go 1, 2, 3, 0, clap.
to annoy you. I always think, how can I annoy Chris? And then I try it. Half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. So I consider myself a success.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, shout out to
Yeah, you're welcome.
patrons we have joining us. I see Shirley's here. I see Logan hopped in. We're finally back. It's nice. It's nice to have our routine
Yeah.
back, our rotation back of recording.
It is nice.
All right, so I guess I'm kicking us off, right?
Yeah, let's do it. I can't wait to hear this awkward story. It's very timely.
It is. So this story is in honor of Martin Luther King Day, which it's 2 weeks from when we're recording this, or like a week and a half. But when this goes live, it will be the week of Martin Luther King Day. So I thought this would be appropriate. I was reminded of this story over the holiday break, and I was like, okay, I think this will be a good one. So it may surprise you that I have normally not liked to do any type of public speaking, since for some reason I've chosen a career in which I have to speak all the time. For the vast majority of my life, I didn't like speaking in front of anyone, in front of school, in front of people at work. Think of any situation in which you'd have to speak in front of more than like the person you're having a conversation with. No, I wasn't having it. But for some reason in elementary school, they had the speech contest. And I underestimated what was going to happen in this contest. I just assumed, it was just a speech assignment almost in class. So, I was like, oh, I'm going to do I have a dream speech. That's a great speech to do. So I practiced and I had to go in front of class, but because I was making it, like I was having fun with it, it was less scary. So I went up there and I was like doing it full on impression. I'm sure I sounded nothing like Martin Luther King, but I was up there like, I have a dream. I was doing the whole thing and people loved it. They were eating it up. They were clapping, they were laughing. They were like, oh, this is so good. Even my teacher was like, Chris, this is so good. You know what? She made me the winner. I won in our class. But I didn't know that meant there was other layers after this. This kept going past what you did in the classroom. So the next, like, oh, well, since you won your class, you have to go up in front of the whole school and do this speech. And I was like, oh no, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask for this, but I was freaking out, but I went up there and I did it. And apparently I blacked out. I don't remember what happened, but I did well enough. They're like, you know what, Chris, you've done well enough. You're going to go on to the next round. And I was like, I don't want any more rounds. This was it. I didn't want to do this twice. So then I had to go to a whole other school. They sent us to a completely different school, and we were all broken up into classrooms, and we're in this classroom full of students and parents. So imagine you're like in a classroom, like a normal sized classroom, and it's just full of parents and other kids just sitting there staring at you. But at this point, I was freaked out. I couldn't handle it. And I get up there and my mind just went completely blank and I couldn't remember a single word. Hey, this is Chris.
And this is Allison. And there's nothing like, I don't know, how old were you at this time?
I'd say maybe fourth or fifth grade, somewhere in there.
There's nothing like, just being a preteen or just trying to find yourself and you just have this super embarrassing moment that's very humbling. But I want to know, what did you do? You just forgot? What did you do?
So mind you, every time I had to do this speech, it was getting worse and worse. So the first time I was doing this voice, the mannerisms, I had it down. I was like, I am Martin Luther King when I'm up here giving this speech. And by the second time I had to give it, it was way toned down. It was like, okay, I'm kind of doing it like I saw him do it in the video, but I'm going to bring it back down. It's not as much fun now because everybody's looking at me. By the time I got to that classroom, It was just me speaking in my regular voice. So I was kind of just
gosh.
Clearly I know I have a dream. I got that part. I got through that part. And after that, I couldn't remember.
You had to memorize it.
Yeah, you had to memorize it. You couldn't go over there with a piece of paper. And I just blanked. I don't even know. I think I probably skipped half of it just so I could get to a point where I remembered. At some point, it kind of clicked back in, and I just did it. But it was just me up there talking. It was little 10-year-old Chris up there just rushing through this speech. And I remember at the end, they gave me a little participation ribbon. It was so bad. I didn't get any place. Here you go. Here's this little white participation ribbon. Well, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, way to represent your school. They're probably this is the best they had. Not
only did I shame my family and my school, I shamed
yourself.
Dr. Martin Luther King as well. I was like, I had no business speaking his words in front of this classroom full of people. It was horrible. It was. I don't think I ever did public speaking again after that for years.
Well, I was going to say, you were really worried about giving your speech at FinCon, which was in front of 1,200 people.
Yeah.
You were excessively worried. I'm talking up to the minute.
Oh, yeah.
You were worried.
Freaking out.
Now this all makes more sense. Because you're what if I start saying Martin Luther King's Jr. speech in the middle because I have these flashbacks?
Imagine I go up on the stage. Imagine I go up on that stage and I'm like, I have a dream.
I don't think that would go over well. People would be like, this is really rude or oh my gosh. Wouldn't have gone over so well.
Oh, that probably would have been perfect.
To make fun of him.
I just go up there, I just do it serious, completely serious, the whole speech, word for word, and I just walk off the stage and everyone's gonna be like,
oh my gosh.
Because you can't not clap, right? You gotta clap.
No, you gotta clap. It would be a pity clap, and that would be really, really awkward. And part of me wishes you would have done it, but I'm glad you didn't. But that's what we do here. We talk about you, Chris, your awkward stories, and anyone else that calls in or writes in and tells us about specifically your awkward money stories. So that way Chris and I can weigh in on them and help you navigate the murky waters without losing your friends and family along the way.
Yeah. And this episode, we're tackling an awkward question. It has to do with, I don't know if you want to call them ungrateful kids, stingy.
I have not read it.
Adult kids. Oh, I read it and it was great. And by the way, I added a new form over on awkwardpodcast.com where people can go in, you can see all the past episodes, but you can also
www.awkwardpodcast.com in case anyone's confused on where to go.
My apologies. I almost messed you all up. None of you would have found the website. But if you go there, in addition to being all the past episodes, there's a place where you can fill in a form with your awkward stories. And I have a field in there for your name, but I said I put in there, put whatever name you want. You don't have to put your real name, put your fake name. And I'm loving the fake names that are coming through. This one, at first I was like, is this the real name? But looked like it was in quotes. So it said, this is from Diamond. I think they made this name up. If not, that is their real
Diamond?
name. That's has been said on the
I had a student once named Diamond.
Yeah, I have a family member named Diamond.
Yeah.
So
maybe
that's what this comes
Diamond.
from. Maybe it's them, but I don't think so because it sounds like this is a man and my cousin is not a man.
Okay.
So, anyways, we are gonna hop into this story, but you know what? Before we get into that, Allison, we need to tell people about our Patreon. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called. Don't forget it. We have a Patreon that is, in my opinion, dare I say, better than the regular episodes. Is that a reach? Is that a reach?
Pressure.
I think they're better. I think they're better. And here's why. Let me tell you why, Chris.
Please.
I think they're better because we have more interaction with our listeners over on Patreon. And I think that adds just a little extra touch to those episodes, because what's so cool about it is not only do you get bonus episodes, not only do you get no ads, but you get to join us on Discord and you get to watch us live and you get to communicate with us during the episode. You get to weigh in on different topics that we're talking about. You get to share what you're loving. You get to tell us funny stories. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. To me, it's really fun because in addition to that, you also get no ads. So when you get the regular podcast episodes, no ads in the feed. You're getting a special private Discord community where we all go in there and chat. We talk about Allison's awkwardness. It's just overall a fun place to be. So if you want to come join us, it starts at $3. You can just go to patreon.com/thisisawkwardpodcast. Or if you listen to the podcast, go to the show notes and you can find a link in there.
When you say we talk about Allison being awkward, do you really mean we talk about Chris being awkward?
No, it's mainly you. It's mainly you. Well, before we get off the whole Patreon thing, you shared over the holiday break some magnificent stories. I actually shared one in the main feed as a preview for everyone.
Oh my God, which one did you share in the main feed?
It was the one about you meeting Cisco and then death gripping Joey Fatone's hand.
Joey Fatone?
Yes.
I need to go back and listen to that and relive that moment.
It's a moment. It's a moment. And that's just the tip of the iceberg if you want to hear some of the random stories that we've heard from Allison over there. So come join us. But now I think it's time. Take a quick break and we'll come back. We're going to hop into our awkward story. Here's the break. I really want to have a break animation.
Oh, it should break. The screen should crack open and break because we're going to a break.
Let's calm down. I meant something simple like a video playing or something like that.
I think we should simulate our screen breaking. Yeah. Like maybe a baseball throws and it cracks the screen and breaks it. Then it slides down and that's when we go to break.
I'm waiting for some type of AI thing because you got me to use that Chat GPT, which is blowing my mind. And they need some type of AI video streaming thing where it can just simulate the transitions for us. Like I say, here's the transition, and it just throws it up there for us. That's what I'm waiting for.
Ooh, that could be what you're loving, Chat GPT. Have you been using it?
I have only a little bit, but it's weird. It's weird in the best ways, though. All right,
I agree. Okay,
let's come back from this.
Let's get back.
All right.
Okay, I'll bring us back. Here we go.
Go for
I
it.
never know how to do this. I'm not good at this.
So we're back from the break. Allison has been trying to bring us back from the break for, I don't know, like a minute at least. I don't know what was happening. She's clearly broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the awkward story. And then Allison, you can hopefully compose yourself and be ready for that. All right. So like I said, this one came in from Diamond and they said, my girlfriend's kids are adults. They are in their mid-20s and have graduated from university and have better paying jobs than me. I'm a single dad and my kids are in their mid-teens. Every time we've gone out to eat, they never offer or even bother to pick up the tab or go halves. Even on birthday or Christmas, they never buy presents for anyone. But when it's their birthday or Christmas, they know exactly what brand name items they want for themselves. Even if we go on a trip and they stay in the same Airbnb as us, they don't offer to pay half or for gas. I brought it up to my girlfriend before a few times to tell them, and I said something out loud to them as well. What would you do, Chris and Allison? So, Allison,
Wow.
take it away. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with these kids?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the deal. As soon as I heard this, I was like, okay, there is a really big lack of like the expectations are totally out of whack.
Mm.
So the kids have a completely different set of expectations than the husband. Now remember, it's his girlfriend's kids.
Yeah, so he's like his
girlfriend
kind of step kids, but not really, but kind of step kids, right?
Yeah. So it's his girlfriend's kids. So number one, I don't think this is his problem. Like,
no,
like this is not his battle. This is not his problem. This is not, this until I think that you're like married, I would not worry about it unless it is financially impacting you. Then I would, because did he say that is it the girlfriend that's paying or is it him that's paying?
It doesn't specify in here. It just says that they don't offer, like
Okay.
when they go out to eat, they don't offer to pay. When it comes to like gifts, they're already like, I know what I want, but they don't buy anybody anything else.
Yeah.
So it doesn't,
So-
who knows who, either one of them could be paying. It could be just their mom.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely different expectations. And I feel like the kids, these 20-year-old kids, are acting like they're 12-year-old kids. Like just
yeah.
flat out, that's what I think is happening. I think that nothing ever shifted for them and they are still acting like children. Now they are still the children. They are
Yeah, they're
still
somebody's
her
kids.
children, right? They are still, the girlfriend's kids, but they're not acting like adults. Eventually they became adults and they make decent money from what it sounds like, but it's like they still expect the mom and now maybe even could you hear that?
I could hear that.
Oh, we're going to add in some music over this, right?
I can't hear what they're saying. I
Ooh,
just
let me
hear
close my-
screams.
I hear it too. Hold on.
So Allison's kids are like, you better not be talking about me in there. Oh, we need to hear this.
What? It was an accident? Is he okay? Okay.
Wait, okay. Are you back yet?
Okay.
Were those
Good news.
were
It
those
was
screams of
not-
pain?
Those were screams of pain. Those were not screams of frustration. Those were not screams of having a brother. Those are screams of pain. Someone got hurt.
What happened? Do you know?
But apparently he's okay. No, I have
Okay.
no idea.
That's all that
All I
matters.
said, I'm recording a podcast. And Matt goes, it's okay. It was an accident. He's probably thinking, oh, she thinks that one kid hit the other, which never happens in
No,
my house.
Brothers would never do that. No. Just next time, tell them to get hurt a little bit quieter, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'll pass that memo along to my 8-year-old,
Thank
who
you.
I'm sure will understand.
Rude.
So
No.
anyway, yeah, I would definitely say that it is this like expectation has never shifted as they've gotten older. What do you think?
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, we've all had this. Like, there's always that point in time where as you get older, you realize, oh, yeah, I'm kind of responsible for myself. And I think it happens at different ages for different people. I know
That's true.
like for me, I think it was 18. That's when it hit me. When
Really?
I remember, I don't know if I told this story before, where I remember I was working as a paintball referee the first half of my senior year.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. You didn't know this?
I just was so random. What does a paintball referee do? Do you get paint on you? Is this a messy job? Like, are there rules? I've never been paintballing. I've heard it's painful, so I've chosen not to go. Are there rules? Is it like a game, like a baseball has a referee? Do you
It's a little
have to
different
wear
than baseball.
suit?
Okay, hold on.
Is
All right,
it you wear stripes?
too many questions. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go in reverse order. You know you don't wear stripes, but we wore a bright yellow, like neon yellow shirt, so we stood out because no one's trying to be very visible. Everyone's wearing like black, dark colors, so we stood out, so you knew we
camel.
weren't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you get hit?
Yeah, so you do get hit. So sometimes you accidentally
Do you
get
wear
hit.
a helmet?
You wear a face mask, so we're wearing a mask that covers our whole face The back of your head is open, so someone could shoot you in the back of the head, and that would hurt. But
That's stupid.
but you do try to wear the clothing to try to cover up. Some people wear a hood like on their hoodie. Some people wear like thicker, like extra layers of clothes. But I'm always hot, so I'm like I can't wear that many. It's elimination, so if you get shot, you're eliminated. So that's one of the main rules of the ref, or one of the main rules. Like the referee will help get people out. So when someone gets shot, they're like, all right, I'm shot. And they raise their hand. So the ref comes over there and guides them out. So they see you, so they don't try to shoot this person walking out of the field. That's kind of like the job of the referee, just to start the game and end it once it's over. That's kind of what you do.
Is this indoors or outdoors?
I think it might be both. Ours was only outdoors, so it was only outdoor arenas, which were really cool. There was like abandoned buses and like broken down fake buildings, and it was actually a really cool place. I actually never have actually played paintball. I've only been a referee. I've never actually played.
Okay.
It's expensive.
Okay.
But anyways,
Is it? Oh, I have no idea. I've never been. Okay.
Oh, it can get real expensive. But anyway,
so one day you're coming
referee.
home from your long day at the referee and paintballing place.
Well, no, what happened was they just stopped giving me hours. Like they just started cutting people's hours, and my hours just kind of slowly dwindled until they weren't bringing me in anymore. So the second half of my senior year,
it's because you didn't guide people well enough.
I was too good of a referee. You know, I was so good. They're like,
sure.
Chris, you're just too good at this. You're making the other referees look bad. And I was like, I understand. You know, we got to make it fair for everyone.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Anyways, I wasn't getting hours. So the second half of my senior year, I was just, living the life. I didn't have any money, but I didn't have a job. And I remember I went to my dad and I was like, hey, I want to go to the movie. Could I get some money? And he was like, all right, fine. So he gives me some money reluctantly. He's on the couch watching TV. And then he hands me, I forgot how much it was. It was maybe, I don't know, $20, $30, something like that. And I think I was trying to take my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, with me.
I remember this story.
And I was like, you know what? This is not enough for both of us to go to the movies. And he was like, well, I'll take that back. And he said, you can go get a job. And I think that was a flip when the switch flipped for me. I was like, oh, I guess I am kind of just being a bum here. And I was like, oh, I probably should be paying for myself. But those moments don't happen for everyone at the same age. Some people make it well into their adulthood without having those realizations.
I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that because I think my parents, I think about it, my parents, it was the way I think it's also generational. So my parents sorry if you heard my cat shaking. My parents treat me and my brother the way that my mom's parents treated my parents, my grandparents. And so what that means is they don't want us to pay when we go out to eat. They do not want us to. They pay every single time, even if we make more money than them, because it's a joy to them to treat us. It's like their joy. And so for me, I look at it and I'm like, I cannot wait to pay for my kids. My kids and their spouses.
You're already doing that now.
But I'm excited to pay for my kids and their spouses when they're older and treat them kind of thing. But also, and then my dad, we're going to go on a big family trip. And he did the Airbnb, or he got the condo or the house. He rented a big house in Colorado. And I was like, I want to pay you. And he was like, no. So I was like, okay, well, can I get your tickets? Can I buy your plane tickets? And it's like pulling teeth to let me help. But that's the way they were taught. So I'm wondering if these children were just not taught that. Also, I think that you have to teach people how to give. I think I think it is a skill.
Wait, before you jump to that point, though, I want to jump back to the other part that you're saying that maybe they haven't learned, because you're thinking about the joy of being the matriarch paying for the younger generation. Now, maybe that's what the mother is doing in the situation, because they're adults, they're in their 20s. So maybe that's what the mother is doing. She just covers the bill for everything. But it's hard to know what that line is between someone being like, I my kids have worked so hard going to school. I'm so proud of them. I want to pay for them when we go out, versus they just never have had any responsibility, and everything gets paid for them, and they don't have to worry about it.
Okay. So let's talk about the two situations.
Okay.
Let's assume, so for instance, with our family with my parents. Now, it's not the same way with Matt's parents. It's totally different. So it's understanding the different family dynamics,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's
When we
true.
go with my parents, one time we treated everyone to dinner. It was my parents, Matt's parents, my brother, and our kids. And my dad, Matt, like was like took the bill before anyone could grab it for my dad because that's immediately what my dad wants to do. And my dad was like, I feel like a bum because he is so used to like providing, I guess,
Yeah.
and doing that. And it brings him joy and it brings my mom joy to buy us dinner when we go out to eat and all these things. And I see it as a joy. So it could be if, let's say that it's under that scenario, right? And you have the mom is saying, but I want to do this for my children. It brings me joy because maybe I couldn't do this for them when they were little and
Mm.
now I can provide and I want to be able to do that now. Like maybe that's it, right? What should this person who's not married, just a partner, what do you think that they should do?
Hmm. If it is this situation where it's the mother's like, no,
You,
I'm.
you don't think it
You
is.
like me
You
qualify and
don't
get?
think
I don't think it is. But if it is the
you're
mother,
like in the very, very small chance.
in the
In a very small
1%
chance.
chance that it's the mother's like, no, I just love treating them. So the kids are already kind of like in lean back mode. Like we try, she doesn't want to take her money. If that's what's going on, I think that's where you need to have a conversation with the mother, right? Like this our writer and then the mother, they need to have a conversation and he can kind of express maybe his frustrations because he may have a completely different parenting style, right? Because he said he has kids. He has kids that are in their mid-teens. So maybe he's like, I'm about teaching responsibility because I can tell you this.
Yeah.
If I want to, I've gone out to eat with my parents, and if I offer to pay, my dad's like, go ahead. He was like, I'm recouping some of that money I spent on you when you were a kid.
Oh.
He has no hesitation.
My parents are not. My parents are like, no, 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 we've got this. We've got this. But sometimes I think, are they just doing that because they're afraid if they don't pay, I won't come hang out with them?
Oh,
Like, I
that's
think when I was
sad.
in
That's how you treat your
20s,
parents?
no,
Wow.
I think in my, no, that's not how I treat them. But I think
Man.
in my early 20s, like when I'm coming home from college and I'm young, like before I was married, I think they probably paid because they were like, we got to keep her coming home.
Yeah.
We got to, we got
It's the
it.
only thing I can do to
You
spend
have
some
to like,
time.
yeah, like when we moved here in the area, my mom was afraid she wanted to see us more, and so she was like, "I'll cook you a homemade dinner one Sunday a month, and y'all can come over and I'll serve you dinner. And Matt, I'm going to serve your favorites." And she did that. I later found out because she was afraid we would be too busy and never see her. So she wanted this built-in
How could you do your mom
reason.
like that? Wow.
I didn't. We saw her all the time and she never did our dinners. And one day Matt was like, Kathleen, you talked all about the steak and potato dinners and you were going to make me cheesecake. Whatever happened to that? And she was like, oh yeah, that's just because I thought I wasn't going to see y'all, but I see y'all all the time. We don't need to do that.
It's like, I'm not wasting my money and time on that. I already got this locked down. Oh.
So it could also be that. I just want to throw that out there. Could also be that.
All right. Well, okay. Now let's.
Because I'm a half glass empty person. I'm gonna look on the bright side.
Or you mean half full?
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, you're really
tired.
negative.
I'm
Okay.
tired.
Now let's say it's the other side.
I'm not a negative person.
Let's say it's the other side, right? So in this case, it's not that the mother is like, no, let me pay. It's just that the kids have maybe gotten spoiled and they're just used to expecting other people to pay, not having to think about other people and buy them gifts. How would you approach this as the outsider, right? Because you're not in this case, like say for you, you're not the mother of these kids. It's your husband's kids. How do you approach that? Because it can get a little rough.
I mean, I don't know. Matt and I have this rule with like, I think of it as almost like dealing with in-laws. Like you deal with your parents, I'll deal with my parents. Like we don't crisscross dealing with each other's parents a lot. Like we just don't do it. Because it's like that's your family, that's your, and I know that sounds so like terrible, but like it's different coming from
No, it makes complete sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So I honestly think like you really have no say until it impacts you directly financially. You really have no say in the way that your girlfriend raises them. Now, you can totally have conversations with your own teenagers and just say like, hey, you teach them on your time that you have them. Because I'm guessing these 20-year-olds aren't, maybe they're living there, maybe they're not. But even if they are living there, I'm guessing they're not around that much.
Yeah,
So,
I
because they're
wouldn't imagine them
20.
being there all the time.
Exactly. But I do think that you don't have a say when you're not like in the family unit as much. And I think he or she, whoever wrote in, needs to just say, okay, what are the boundaries I can set with myself?
Hmm.
And what I can set with myself is, okay, if we're going out to dinner, my girlfriend can pay for them. And if she wants to pay for them, that's fine. But I'm going to pay for myself and my two teenagers.
Oh, could that
Like,
cause division though?
you know,
Where you're like, waiter, split this check. Those ingrates over there, give them their own receipt.
well, we split checks. Like when we go out with my in-laws, we split checks. But we don't live in California where you can't split checks because it's such a hassle. Or was that New York City?
That was one place I went to where they'd only split it 2 ways. Well, yeah, like that to me, that would seem like that could cause more division, right? Like now you're setting like camps, like I'm paying for my family, I'm not paying for your family.
No, I don't
they're
think
ungrateful.
so. I don't think so. I think just saying like if that's important to you, fine, but I can't afford that. Now, if it's like the thing where they are being just like moochers and they just haven't been taught to like take care of their own financial situations, they haven't been taught to, it's polite to pay for gifts and do all this. Or if they're well, no, I was going to say if they're not financially stable, but they make more money than them, then I
Yeah,
would just
they're
flat
fine
out say like,
financially.
yeah, I would just flat out say like I can't cover this bill. We've had dinner with family where someone has said, except it was when the bill came. I think you should do it before the bill comes. But it was
Yeah.
when the bill came that said they were just like, oh, 2 checks, please. Like there was no conversation. That stresses me out more. I want to
Really?
know. I want to
Wait,
go in knowing. Yes, that
wait, why?
stresses me out
Okay, wait.
more.
What about that stresses you out about the 2 check situation?
It's like the who's gonna grab what do we do? Because I grew up in a family where my parents they paid no matter what. And when my parents go with my grandparents pay no matter what. We've gone on trips to see like cousins get married, and my grandparents book a condo, and no one pays. It's them, and it's almost like it's been carried on through this really big like family line to the point where now Matt is like, I love that your parents do that. He loves it. Not
I would
because
love it too.
we can well, not because we can go and like get all of our food and all of that, but I think he sees it as such a sign of love and such a sign of like generosity, and they can afford, I'm sure they can afford it. I mean, they're not like rich, but that he's like he has said to me, I want to do that for our kids. Like that is so important to him that he does that for our kids.
Mm.
So I don't know. Sorry, I got on a little bit of a tangent, but I think you should read Angie's comment.
Yeah. Oh wait, before I don't want to forget this. One thing I think that they could do with this that Diamond here could do in this situation, specifically focusing on the gift side of things, right? Because I feel like dinner's a hard one because you're going to be there.
Don't give anyone gifts.
You can't be standing your own grandma your own checks, but
Santa.
well, no. What I was going to say was, I would be like, look, I don't care about these kids buying me a gift. I'm sure he doesn't really care, but I would go to them with a group gift idea for their mom, and that's how I would try to rope them into it. I'm like, I really want to do something nice for your mom. How about we all go in on this? She's been talking about this all the time. She really wants this one thing, or she wants to go do this thing with all of us together. How about we all pitch in and get this for her? And then that maybe be a gateway to really address it. Because then who doesn't want to buy a gift for their mom?
It's the gateway drug to being kind.
Slowly tricking them into being better people. It's one gift at a time.
I think that's a really good idea, Chris. And then he could inflate the price of the gift. We're going to get your mom a $200 gift. Okay? We're each going to pay $50. But then it's not a $200 gift. It's a $100 gift.
And he's like, guess what? And then you take them all to dinner. Guess what? The kids pay for dinner too. Boom. There you go.
Exactly.
You know what? I think these are 2 ideas merged together. Perfect. That's what you can do.
Very manipulative when we're together. Like, But no, I actually think that's a really good idea because I think part of it is like what was the situation they grew up in.
Mm.
Clearly it wasn't modeled for them or made to be important. No shade to the mom, no shade to the
No,
girlfriend. I
no.
think we live in a world where where you and I grow up, it was like it was just very different parenting than there is today.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you right now, kids are very entitled today. And parents are helicopter and like my kids too. Like it's just the way parenting has changed and I have to continually be like, how do I make sure my kid's not entitled? Like for instance, Evan needed new shoes the other day and he wanted Jordans. And we're
Oh,
like, "No. We're not buying. How much are Jordans?
I imagine
How much
well
are
over
they?"
$100. I don't own any Jordans
Okay,
because I'm cheap. I'm not buying that.
I don't Okay, I have no idea how much they are either. But he wants Jordans, right? He's like, "Of course I'm going to get Jordans." And we're like, "No. If you want us to look at the price of a regular shoe, you can take your money and like supplement it to get a price of a Jordans, and that's fine if that's what we want to do." Which once he realized it, he was like, "Heck no, that's too much." The day he gets home, the very next day, he has a hole in the top of his brand new shoes.
Well, because you didn't buy
I
him
was, and
Jordans.
Matt
What do you
goes,
expect?
yeah,
He
no,
would have,
Matt
if he would
goes,
have Jordans,
"All
he would have been out there flying around the playground 2 feet off the ground. He would not even dirty. Dirty.
Matt was like, "Aren't you glad you didn't get Jordans? Like, you would have ruined them." So, but there's this entitled mentality around our children these days. And a lot of it comes from helicopter parenting. A lot of it comes from, us being like, our parents let us do this and I want to do something different. And then we parent them,
Hmm.
to be entitled. I don't know. But they have to be taught how to do it, even in the 20s.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you're so selfish at that
Yep.
age and blind to what's going on around you. You're just looking out for number one, which is you at that time.
Right there. You just hit the nail on the head. They don't know what they don't know. They might not even know that what they're doing is rude and inconsiderate.
Yeah, you don't see it. You're blind. But yeah, at that
Like
age, there's very
they
few
are
people I've
blind
met
to
who
it.
were just very selfless in their 20s.
Oh my gosh. You know what I did in my 20s? You want to know one of my most shameful moments in my 20s? Oh my
You
gosh.
know I want to know the answer to this.
Here's the 20s, okay? So that's why I'm like they just have to be taught. In my 20s, I was doing my student teaching, so I was probably 21 years old. 20, not even 22. I was 21 years old. I was doing my student teaching and I moved away from my student teaching and did it like, several hours away from my college. So I went back to visit my friend, my friend Jessica and I went back to visit college and for a weekend and just like party, just like go all out and party.
Hmm.
And I lost my debit card. And I didn't have a credit card because no one would give me a credit card. I had no credit. It was like 2009. These credit card companies were like, "Not you." And I only had a debit card, one debit card, and I lost it. And I was like, "Oh crap, what am I going to do?" Well, my debit card was connected to my mom's checking account. And so she could somehow, I don't know, I called her to like fix it. She could do something to fix it. I don't remember what it was, or cancel it or something. So I call her on like a Saturday, the day after I was partying all night and everything. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm the worst daughter ever. I promise I'm fixed. Promise I've made up for this." I call her. This is a no judgment zone.
I'm,
If you're
I'm,
going to
I'm,
judge,
I'm waiting here. I'm waiting here. What you said you did?
you're going to judge, turn this off. So I call her and I'm like, "Mom, I came back. We were hanging out. We went to the bars last night. I lost my debit card. Like, I'm going to need you to I'm going to need to cancel it. I'm going to need to, I don't know, send Amanda Monday money to cover for me or something like that." She was like, "Okay, like I understand things happen." And I was like, "Okay, I'll talk to you later." And she goes, "Wait." And I said, "What?" And she goes, aren't you going to tell me happy birthday?"
Oh no! Oh no! Boo!
You want to talk about feeling like the worst daughter ever. I call her after going out drinking all night, lose my debit card, ask her to send me money all on her birthday and didn't realize it was her birthday.
You were just celebrating her life so much, you completely
Listen,
forgot.
I have made up for that moment many a times since then. So I promise I'm a better daughter now. But that was me in my 20s. Like that is 20-year-old people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They
I
have
mean, some
no
of us.
care for
I've
others.
never done that, but some of us.
Well, that's because you don't drink. Maybe that's the answer.
Oh man, but yeah. Like, here's the thing: you're a different person in your 20s than you are in your 30s. You are in your 40s.
Yes.
You're gonna keep changing, and you need a moment like that. Someone needs to throw it in your face. Clearly you learned that lesson on your
Yeah.
own. These kids might need a little prodding, but you gotta be gentle
Well,
with it.
that
I think 'cause they're
that
not
was
your
my
kids.
mom prodding. I mean, that's my mom prodding,
Could you
right?
please
Like,
wish me happy birthday?
are you gonna wish me happy birthday? I'm like, she probably thought I was calling her to wish her happy
Can
birthday.
you imagine that? She's like, "Oh, my daughter, she remembered," and then it's like, "I need
Yeah.
some money."
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. One day
Wow.
I'm gonna get paid back for that. It's gonna come
Oh
through
yeah,
my kids.
it's gonna come right back around.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't wait.
I love
I
you,
can't wait
mom,
for
if
that
you're
awkward
listening.
story. In 10 years when we're clearly still
Oh
doing
goodness.
This Is Awkward, you're going to be,
Hmm.
guess what my kids did today? But, all right.
Yep,
Do you
exactly.
have any parting words for for Diamond?
I guess for Diamond, what I would say is create your own boundaries, set up your own expectations, communicate with your girlfriend what your expectations are and how you want to spend your money, and ask her to respect that. And she can spend her money how she wants.
Mm-hmm.
She can treat her kids, and she can have this conversation with them, because ultimately I just don't think it's your place. But I do love Chris's idea
Ooh,
on combating the like, I don't say that often.
never,
I
really.
really don't. And it pains me a little to say it, but I highly recommend Chris's idea. It's a little bit passive aggressive, but
Why is it passive
it wouldn't be
aggressive?
Chris's idea if it wasn't.
It's not passive aggressive.
Because it is passive aggressive.
What? You're just saying, I want to do a gift for your mom together as a group. You want to pitch in on it. Like, that's what it is. It's not like
What
your part
happens if
was
they say no?
Your part is passive aggressive. You're like, and then asking for more money
Oh,
than you
okay.
need. That was your part. You infused that into this.
When I'm around Chris, somehow I start becoming passive aggressive.
Okay,
You're
yeah, it's
a
magic.
bad influence.
Well, anyways,
What about you? What do you think?
for me, I just agree with you. I think that makes complete sense. You have to set boundaries, but you also have to know you got to be careful and not overstep your bounds because, one, they're not your kids. I don't know what your relationship is with them, if you have a good or bad relationship with them, but it could be easy to kind of, especially because they're adults already, to kind of step over that line
Yeah,
and maybe cause more issues than you want. So yeah, I like the gift idea. Just try that out. See if you can,
I
can
like that.
trick them into being generous and, and giving a gift to their mom.
And how is that not passive aggressive? I'm like, trick you
It's a life
into
lesson.
changing.
It's a life lesson.
So
Showing
is
them the
calling
light.
your mom, asking her for money, and she asks you if you're going to wish her happy birthday.
Yeah,
And it changed me. I never miss her birthday again.
don't let those kids hit rock bottom like Allison. We don't want another repeat of that. So let's try to cut this off early.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Diamond, for writing in with your story, with your awkward story. If you want to share your awkward money story, we would love to hear it. You can go to awkwardpodcast.com, and that's where you can actually write it in, or you can call us at 707.
No,
Wait,
I'm
I
behind you.
took the number away.
Here's the phone number.
Or you can call us at 707 200 8259. Leave us a message. You can also leave us a voice memo over at awkwardpodcast.com. And we cannot wait to talk about your awkward money story. And I promise, hey, maybe it would do you good. You could put in an awkward money story about someone, and then they'll listen to the podcast and they'll
Mm,
say, oh, let me rethink the way I'm doing things.
yeah,
And then they would change.
I think we've suggested that before. Like the people who are writing in, especially if you stay anonymous, just kind of, oh yeah, I found this really new podcast. Maybe you should check this out. Give
Yeah.
them this specific episode and let those words trickle into their brains subconsciously.
Or give them the episode right before the next one,
Ooh,
the
there we
one you
go.
write in. And if you're on our Patreon, you know that this has actually happened before and didn't actually go well. The story of someone writing in, and then in the middle of a big fight, started yelling about how so and so talked about them on a podcast and their stories on a podcast. And so if you're in the Patreon, you get to hear all the behind the scenes and how sometimes our podcast can cause just a tiny smidge of family drama.
Well, don't say that. Don't sell it like that.
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It can cause eyes to be opened and joy to be spread.
There we go. Well, before Allison says something else horrible that makes you not want to listen to our podcast, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hop into what I'm loving. Me specifically. I was waiting for you to get that one.
Okay. Oh, because I'm so behind.
So behind. Oh wait, okay. So Angie put something here. I think she already left, but in Discord, this is what she put in there. I think you want to talk about it. She said, "I missed the first part, but my dad was always about paying. Even when we were adults, we had to insist. We had to tell him we loved that he wanted to pay, but we wanted to pay and say thank you too. Now when we go visit, they pay some, or I split with siblings. He does insist on making taco night and paying for all of it. He loves to barbecue." Aww. All dads love to barbecue. I feel like if you're a dad, it just all of a sudden you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to go turn on the grill. One of my siblings lets my parents pay, put lets in quotes, lets my parents pay all the time. So now when we're around, I make sure to say split it. My dad wants to pay for everyone, but my mom gets annoyed when she never pays. So this is like one of those prodding, right? Where you have a sibling who's like, hey, they want to pay, I'm gonna let them pay. And you kind of have to jump in there and be like, come on now, let's help the old people out a little bit here.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Usually what we do is like, we don't pay. But for instance, we don't, but honestly, we don't go out to eat too much together either. We'll do a lot where we go to like each other's houses and make food and bring food. So we don't do a ton of going out to eat together, honestly. But whenever Evan had a choir concert and we all went out to celebrate afterwards, I said, Matt, you need to pay. And Matt was like, oh yeah. And he was like excited to pay. And that's whenever and so it's almost like we pay whenever it's something that we've kind of requested, I guess.
What is your idea? When you initiate the spending of money.
When we initiate it, or like if it's, for instance, like we always go out to eat on, my mom always wants to take us out to dinner on like my birthday and my brother's birthday. We don't do Matt's birthday. We don't do Catherine's birthday. Like her children's
birthday.
Clearly
you don't do Catherine's birthday.
Why not?
Because you don't pay for mom's birthday. You just forget about mother's birthdays completely. You're just like,
Catherine is my sister-in-law.
Oh, I was like, oh, your mom's name is Kathleen. There we go.
My mom's Kathleen, yes. So like my mom will pay for everyone's dinner out on those, like on my birthday and Matt's birthday. But what gets really awkward, you're not going to put this in the thing, are you?
Well, I mean, we are live right now, so people are going to hear whatever you're going to say.
We're live, but maybe I shouldn't. Can you see who's watching?
Yeah, your mom's watching right now.
I don't care if it's my mom. Can you see?
No, I can't. No, I can't see who's watching.
Oh, no, well then I'm not going to say it.
Well, you just set up this horrible thing you've done to someone. Now you're going to back off. Wow.
No, because it's. I don't want it to get to the wrong hands.
You probably shouldn't say it on a live stream. Then I would highly suggest.
I'll tell you afterwards. How about this? I'll say it in Discord afterwards.
Okay, you can do that.
But when we hang up from live stream, I'm not going to say it on live stream. Okay.
Oh wait, I will say.
Okay, you want to bring us back?
Hold on, wait. About paying with like family. So my family, we never really went out to eat growing up. Like that wasn't a thing we did. Like it was pretty rare. Like, we never were out to eat.
I don't think people did.
My wife's family went out to eat all the time, and I was shocked. I was like, we never went out to eat. Like it would be, my dad hated to go out to eat. He's like, I can make it myself. That's basically what he would do.
We never went out to eat either, ever.
It was rare. It was like special. And so when I started dating my wife, we would go out to eat all the time with her family. And so I remember what I would have to do is, because they wouldn't let you pay. Like they were like, no, you can't pay. So a couple of times what I would do is I would get up like I was going to the bathroom, and I would go up to the person at the front. I'm like, hey, can I get the bill for this table? And I would just like pay right there, because that was the only way I was going to get to pay. Like they would never let you pay.
And you were like, that's when my credit card debt began.
Oh, that sandwich shop just bankrupted me. It was it. That was it. That was all my money. But yeah, you gotta be sneaky sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
How about you
why
bring
don't you
us
bring
back
it
from?
back?
Yeah, you know, I was gonna
No, I
ask you too, but
clearly
you
don't
can't.
do well.
You
I don't
cannot.
do well. I don't know why I giggle when I have to bring us back. I
I don't
don't know
know
what
what's
to
going
say
on.
and I get nervous and I start laughing.
You've been talking this entire time, but for some reason, this specific point in which
It's
nothing
because
has
I have to
changed.
think of a. I know. I need a script. I need
How
some
about
sort of
this? How
script.
about this? Welcome back from the break.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay. All right, we're back from the break because Allison, for some reason, Allison cannot bring us back from the break. It's too much pressure for her. It's just too much. Everybody's listening to me, even though they've been listening to me this entire time
I
talk.
just giggle. I can't stop giggling. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but you know what you could do is tell us what this segment's all about.
Oh, this is what I'm loving. This is when Chris and I share something that we are loving, something that is bringing us joy, something that is bringing us peace in the year of 2023, in our hopes that we can share it with you. So that way you can find more joy, more peace, more happiness, more confidence, more love this year than you ever have in the past.
Now, you can do that, but you can't say welcome back from the break. I will never understand this.
I can't. I can, but this is consistent. I can never bring us back from the break consistently, can I?
You could just say the same thing every time.
I can't. I just giggle and I laugh and I can't figure it out. But anyway, I want to hear about what you're loving.
Me? Okay. So normally I have you guess, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory what I have in the docket.
Yep.
So
just go for it.
You know, being in Southern California, I feel like, people just assume we eat sushi here all the time, which we do. We love a good sushi. We're right by the ocean. Why not? I don't know. I wouldn't eat any fish that came directly out of the Pacific Ocean where I live. That water's filthy. I wouldn't. I see people fishing there, and I was like, I do not know why you're eating that. That looks disgusting.
It's filthy?
Oh yeah, because it's like sewage spills that'll happen there. Like when it rains hard, all the crap off the street flows out to the ocean. The sewage plants will overflow, and it's like in the water. And I got to shut the beach down for like 3 days.
Wait, hold on. So it's not clear water?
No, that's not the Bahamas. It's not the Bahamas.
But is it like pretty?
None of the water in Southern California I would describe as pretty. I wouldn't.
Really?
No.
But I feel like I've been to San Diego before, but I don't think I've ever been I have been to San Diego before.
I mean, San Diego, the beaches might be a little bit nicer, but it's not like no water in California is like the clear water you see in those commercials of like the islands. It doesn't look anything like that. It's kind of
like Florida.
It's
like
it
doesn't look like Florida, Destin water.
It's like brown, kind of green.
So it looks like Galveston water.
I don't know if it looks like that. It doesn't look like a rusted pot has been just sitting in the ocean and spilling over.
Wait, you know about Galveston water? Does everyone know about Galveston water?
I was just guessing. Does it look like that? I'm assuming Texas water looks like a brown pool of mud.
It's because of the Mississippi River. Brings all the mud.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's not that bad. But it's not clear. Like you're not going to see your feet. If you go walk in the ocean, you're not seeing your feet as you're walking. It's not happening. No. Okay. But anyways, sushi is what I started talking about because I went out. This is kind of from last year. So this is an old what I'm loving slightly, but went out with some friends for all you can eat sushi. And this is the first time I've ever done this. I've never been to an all you can eat sushi place before. I've been to just regular old sushi spots, but never one of these. I don't know why. And I got to tell you, it was amazing because sushi is expensive. It
is. How much was the all-you-can-eat sushi?
It was like $45.
That is cheap.
Now, I feel like, did I get sick 2 weeks later because I was poisoned at this all-you-can-eat sushi place? I don't think so.
2 weeks? No,
I think 2 weeks is long enough that I was fine. But it was cheap because normally I've spent easily $60, $70 on like 4 or 5 rolls of sushi at some of these places. And so, this was $45. All you can eat. It was amazing. It was like there's like hot baked versions of sushi. There was like sashimi. There was these like cold like dishes. There was hot side dishes. It was amazing. And you just write on a little piece of paper. Was it like a buffet? No, they bring it out to you. Like you had a little piece of paper. Good. You would check off what you want. No, I would not do a sushi buffet. That's not happening. Good. I don't know if I can do another buffet in my life. Like I over the past few years, I think buffets have died for me. You're too bougie? No, I don't want people breathing all over the food I'm about to put into my mouth. That's what I would prefer not. But yeah, I don't
Okay.
have. Wait, hold on. Side note: have you done a buffet recently?
I don't know when the last time I
No
did a
shame. I'm not gonna
buffet
shame
was.
you. I just want to know, have you done a buffet recently?
No, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, okay, when Matt and I went to Mexico and it was like an all you can eat place, and it was like, okay, so like when Jen and Caroline and I went to Mexico last year in
Hmm.
April, at breakfast time, they had like this, you just walk around and you pick your stuff
Like the
off, but they
continental
were
breakfast
making like
thing.
burritos right there. Yeah, but it was, yeah, I mean, they would like put stuff out, but in terms of like going to a buffet and like walking into a line and then just going down the thing. There was one time we've done it with our kids, and it was because we were traveling and it was the
Mm.
only restaurant we could find and stop at. We were like stopping for dinner, and we went to like Golden Corral or something. I don't know. But I've been to a Luby's. We still have Luby's out here. Do y'all have a
You sent me
Luby's?
that a video of that. I was like, I don't even know what Luby's is. I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh, that's right. I took a video of Luby's for you. Oh, Luby's. Southern Comfort. It's just the best.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't.
So,
I take it back. I did a buffet when I was in Orlando at the conference because no one was there. It was like literally just opened, and me and someone else were riding to the airport together. So we walked in there and got the buffet, and it was like we were literally the only two people. No other
when was
breath.
that?
This was the day I left for the airport. No other breath had
They
been
had a
breathed
buffet?
upon it. Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, okay, I can do this.
Oh, you mean in that restaurant right there?
Yeah. So that's the only other
Okay.
buffet I've done. But this was all you can eat, and so they brought it to the table. Amazing. Like this was, I was like, this is, I think, the only way I want to do sushi now. Like if this is my only
Wow.
place I eat sushi from, is this is gonna be it right here. It was
Well,
delicious.
good. So it was good.
10 out of 10. I recommend. Go get you some all you
Nice.
can eat sushi. Oh, it's amazing.
That would be jealous.
It's delicious. Tell them to come to California. I mean, you guys gotta have one. Probably go to Austin. That's where all the hipsters are. Go to Austin. I'm sure you got all you can eat sushi.
Yeah,
They'll head
I
over
don't.
there.
I had a bad experience with sushi, so I don't eat anything
You ate
raw
gas station
anymore.
sushi one time, which was a horrible
It
life
was not
decision.
gas station sushi. Okay.
Where did it come from?
But I had a bad experience and I just learned. I learned quickly from my mistakes,
Where did the
right?
sushi come from,
I
Allison?
forget my mom's birthday once. I never forget it again.
No, where did you get that
I eat
sushi
bad
from?
sushi once.
Where did it come from?
It was a place that it was a restaurant, but it was delivery. We had it delivered.
Mm.
It was like a restaurant. We had it delivered,
So it was
and
like a
Matt did
Mexican
not
food
get
place,
sushi.
and they also had sushi on the side.
No, it was not a Mexican food place. Let's move on. I don't want to relive that experience.
Okay, all right, go for it. Now, what's up for you? What is this thing on the list?
Okay, so what I'm loving, one of the things that was revealed in our Patreon episodes is that I always know the gifts I'm receiving because I buy my own gifts. And this was
Mm.
shocking to Chris.
I was
Like
blown
shocking.
away. I could not believe this because I bought my mom a gift for Christmas. I buy her a gift every year.
Well, I mean, like the boys will sometimes buy me like something small that they get at the school if they do the peppermint market, but they didn't do that this year. But like Matt, like I always tell Matt what I want. Matt always tells me what he wants. Like we know what we're getting.
Mm.
Well, this was the first year in a long time that Matt got me a gift and I did not know what it was. He ordered it. He has his own separate little checking account where, he's my podcast editor, so his money goes there. It's his little spending money. He ordered it. He said, "This is coming. Don't open this box because I'm the one that's at home all the time." And I had never heard of this, and I shared about it on Instagram, and people are like, "How have you never heard about this?" Because apparently it's really big and popular. But it's called the Adventure Challenge.
I've
And he
seen
got
these
me
Instagram ads for this book like crazy. They were paying a lot of money during the holidays to advertise this thing.
really.
Yes.
So what's crazy is Matt doesn't have Instagram. He doesn't have Facebook. Like, he doesn't have social media. So I don't know how, if they might be doing targeted Google ads, because
Yeah.
he goes to Google and he like scrolls and sees everything that's targeted for him there. But I have never heard of this.
No, I'm surprised.
Which apparently I'm the only person,
You're
because
literally
I
the only
posted about
person.
it like it was brand new, and everyone's like, "How do you not know about this?"
Get out of your
So he got
grandma.
me this one. I know there was this one, and then there was a bundle. He got me another one, but we're not going to talk about that because it's PG. It's rated R version. But he got me this couple. He got me this couples challenge edition because I am very like an experience person. Like I would rather take experiences than have stuff. So this is perfect. So basically the way it works is you scratch off. I mean, she got targeted ads, but I did not. So it was brand new information to me. You scratch off and it tells you what to do. And then you have to, you're supposed to take a picture and you're given a key of like what, what each one means. So that way you have an idea like, is this an overnight one? Does this one require a babysitter? Does this one
Oh,
like,
so you kind of like a tip off before you
yeah,
actually scratch it.
yeah. Yeah. So there's three different dollar sign levels. So that way, like, okay, well, how much money is this going to cost me? How much time is it going to be? Things
Okay,
like
so wait,
that. Like
read that
there's
one
some
off.
that
What
are,
does that one say?
well, I haven't opened it yet.
No, like what
I
are the
don't know if
little
I'm
what are the little
supposed to do.
keys that next to that
Oh,
one
it
mean?
says like approximate cost of a venture. $1 sign is $0 to $25. $2 signs is 25 to 50. $3 signs is 50 plus.
Is it
Then
adjusted for
it tells
inflation?
you,
Do they know what prices are now?
I'm gonna say yes just to make you happy. Then they tell you like the approximate duration of the adventure. So it'll tell you like 2 to 3 hours or 1 hour or 5 to 6 hours. And it'll tell you the best time of day or night to do it. So it'll tell you like it needs to be done after 7 p.m. or it needs to be done before 7 p.m. It'll even tell you like you're gonna get wet. Like this
I thought you
activities
said
might
this
get
was not an
wet. So like you
R-rated
might
one.
have to go. Christopher, pull
Anyways,
yourself together.
yes. Hmm?
So, like, this one might be at like a lake or a pool. So it tells you like this one needs to be done outdoors, indoors, nighttime, all these things, right? They even have some that you have to plan ahead and you have to scratch off at least 48 hours ahead of time.
Hmm.
So anyway, so our kids went back to school on Wednesday, but Matt did not have to go back to school until today, Thursday. So we had Wednesday when the kids were at school and we were both home and I said, I'm in this really busy work time, launch week. And I said, Matt, I want to do one of our dates. And he said, I wasn't going to ask you because you're so busy. I said, no, I want to. So here's the date we scratched off.
Okay, I want
We
to see
chose
this.
one that required a car. So you had to drive a distance. It cost $2 signs. So between $25 to $50, which is actually accurate. We spent like $49. You have to complete it before 7 p.m.
Okay.
It takes 2 to 3 hours. It includes a meal and it requires a babysitter, which I don't think this one required a babysitter, but okay. So it was so exciting. We got a little card and we scratched it off and here it is. It comes in 3 steps.
Okay.
Step 1 says, find a small town or an area at least 15 miles away that you have never been to or spent much time in. Step 2, go and find a small restaurant there and have dinner. Well, we had lunch. Leave the waiter a great tip. Step 3, find a local park, take a walk, and talk about what you assume the town's history is. Create a backstory for it and rename the town. So as soon as I read this, I started laughing because Matt is a very realistic person. So I know he was like, why would I try to make up what a town's back history is and rename it? This is stupid. But it's right up my alley. So we did it. We went to a town. It was actually not 15 miles away. It was probably like 12. And we went to a new restaurant that we had never been to that had really good reviews. We ate there and we did not go to a park. We skipped that step.
You just
But
breaking all
on
the
our
rules.
drive back, well, no, because we needed to run a couple errands and then be back in time to pick up our kids from school.
Yes.
We looked for a local park, but nothing looked really great. And then we did like talk about what we thought the city's name would be, and then we guessed what the history was. And then while we were driving back, I read the Wikipedia page out loud, and we learned something about the town and the history and everything. So,
can you show us what it looks like when it's
interesting.
scratched off, or is there like other stuff you're
Yeah.
getting on there?
I wrote, so then it leaves you a little space. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to buy like a Polaroid camera and take a picture and put it there. And I really want to buy a Polaroid camera now, but it looks like this.
Okay. Wait, move it back the other direction.
Sorry, wrong
there
way.
you go. Okay. Oh, so it has those are the instructions underneath there. Oh, that's interesting.
Those are the instructions underneath. And then it gives you this little sticky tape to tape a picture. So you're supposed to do like a Polaroid picture right here in the photo. And now it just makes me want to buy a Polaroid camera.
Have you
Like
seen
that's all I
there's
want
those
now.
little Bluetooth printers that connect to your phone?
I have.
They're
I
little,
thought
and
about getting that too, but I want to hide it from my kids because I don't want them printing pictures.
just put it in your
So I
office,
would
put
have
it
to
in a drawer.
secretly hide it. I know.
Yeah, and then
I
that way you don't
know.
have to buy a
And
whole
so
new
I wrote
Polaroid camera.
I know. So I wrote a little thing, but I think I'm going to get that. I think I will. Because they print out, they're just little sticky pictures that you can put on. But when I looked online on Amazon, they were advertised to like teenagers. And I thought, am I too old to buy this?
The old technology is getting really popular with kids. They're like walking around with like cassette players. I'm like, oh, what? Why would you do that to yourself?
What?
No, you didn't know this?
They're walking around with no.
Cassette players. They
Have
got
they
Walkman.
never had to try to
Walkman?
shut up?
Yes, that is a thing.
The 90s are really coming back.
I'm like, we're the same age. I only had cassettes until maybe like early elementary school. Then CDs came out with like late elementary school, right?
I would say CDs came out like 5th grade. I think I got my
Yeah.
first CD, and it was my mom was so mad at my dad
Why?
because it was a Meredith Jones CD because
Ooh.
the most popular song was it's the song which I was actually listening to the other day on my phone, and my son walks in and he said, "Isn't that a little inappropriate, Mom?" And I started laughing. The name of the song is Bitch.
Who is
bitch,
Meredith
I'm
Jones?
a lover, I'm a child,
Oh.
I'm a mother,
That
I'm
song.
a sinner, I'm a saint.
Okay.
Yes. So that was my very first CD, followed closely by Alanis Morissette. And when we came home from Walmart that day, I was on top of the world. I was on top of the world. My mom was so mad at my dad because what do? I go take it and I stick it in my little boom box with my 6 CD disc changer.
Oh, you
that
were
would always
fancy.
get stuck. Oh, I had
You were
well, that was probably
fancy.
later on in life. I one Christmas I got a 6 disc CD changer. With
You were
my
living the
phone.
life. Man.
Mhm. That was probably a little bit later,
Oh,
but
okay.
they walk around with cassette player. Are you kidding? Is it like
Cassette
us
player.
like playing records? Are people like
I guess, yeah, it's like, I guess us, like, well, I didn't have a record player, but it would have been back like in 2005 or something, and we're out there with record players. I guess it's the equivalent of that.
we have a record player?
I don't have one.
It's a piece of junk and it doesn't work. It's just like
Oh.
for show now.
You know what? In Patreon, I'm going to tell the
Okay.
story of one of my first CDs and what went wrong with that. But I'll save it because we're already running long.
Oh
on
my
this
gosh,
episode.
I love it. We're gonna tell that. Okay,
All right.
so let's move on to the next thing because I want to get to that. So, listener shout out. We have a lot of listeners to shout out.
We do. Sorry, this episode's going very long, but we have a lot of catching
I
up.
know,
The first
I'm
episode of the
tired.
new year we're recording.
I know.
But what we're doing today is going to be our kind of like shout out anniversaries to our patrons. Because first of all, we got a brand new patron we got to shout out. Her name is Connie. She just joined at the beginning of the month. So thanks, Connie, for joining us, being a patron, supporting what we do here. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. Already making some amazing moves in 2023.
I mean, we're starting out like that. Your year is going to be great. I can already tell.
I sure will be.
and then we have 3 anniversaries to shout out here. So first of all, we have 2 people celebrating 2-year anniversaries of being a patron here. So Tammy, our very first patron, I missed this one because we had already stopped recording towards the end of the year. But
Yeah.
as of November 22nd, Tammy has been with us for 2 years. So she's already like well over 2 years now. And she was the very first patron we had here on This Is Awkward.
Oh,
So
Tammy.
appreciate you, Tammy.
Thank you. We do appreciate. We were so excited. I'll never forget when Chris was like, "We got someone.
Someone
I don't know how to
decided to
pronounce
join
her
us.
name."
I had to message her like,
But we-
okay, how do I say this? Am I saying this the right way? She's like, yes, this is how you say it. So we have Tammy with 2 years, and then Angie, who was in Discord earlier. She had to step away because she said she has to take a trip to good old Chuck E. Cheese with her kids. But
in the morning.
oh, in the
Not
morning,
now, right?
Okay,
Or no?
wait,
No, now.
yeah, they're going to
Oh,
Chuck E.
because
Cheese
she's
right now.
probably over where you are.
Oh
They're
yeah, because
over
it's
in
been raining like
California.
crazy out here, so it's actually nice and dry right now.
Okay.
So Angie, she joined us back on January 11th of 2021. I guess it would be. Yeah, 2021. So
Wow.
2 years.
Yep.
So appreciate you. And then on the 1 year side, we have Claudia. This is also another one back from November 13th. That would be a full year for Claudia. So appreciate all these people for being here, supporting
Yes.
us, and sticking with us. We didn't scare you away, so we're happy about that part.
Not yet, but
Not yet.
could still happen.
Still plenty of awkward stories to be told later on that can make you change all your life decisions. You're like, you know what? I'm just going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, we've made it to the end of another episode. And if you don't know, usually we record these episodes and then we follow it up with a Patreon recording that we're going to be doing right after this, where Chris is going to tell us about his first CD purchase and where we're going to have more fun conversations. So if you're like, hey, I don't want this to be the last time I hear you guys, I don't want to wait another 2 weeks, then head on over to awkwardpodcast.com and join us over on Patreon. It starts at just $3 a month. It's super easy to join, very streamlined and simple. We hope to have you join our little group.
Yeah, it'd be great having you. And also, big thanks to our anonymous caller or writer, Diamond, who sent in their awkward story. If you want to be like Diamond, send in your awkward story to us. You can give us a call, 707-200-8259. Or like Allison said, you can go over to awkwardpodcast.com and leave it there.
Yeah.
Time to get out of here. Do you want to try to end it? You want to try to end it? You can't bring us back from break. Do you want to try to end the episode?
Okay, I'm going to end it. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Thanks for joining us for another episode in 2023. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Unless you are a Patreon member. In that case, we'll see you next week.
How can you do that? But not to bring us back from break. I will never understand it.
I don't know. I just giggle. I cannot stop laughing when I bring us back from a break.
You cannot. It never fails. It never fails.
It just It's just a big shift. It's just a big shift in what we're talking about. And usually we get off topic and we keep going. And then you just ask me to jump right into it and I just can't.
It's okay. I'll keep handling that duty.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. This is the Patreon now. We've entered into Patreon land. And
Patreon land.
And I was looking it up here because, as promised, I'm going to tell the story of one of my first CDs and what happened with it. So when I had to be, I don't know if I was yet in middle school. Maybe this was late elementary, maybe middle school. This had to be middle school because I was a good school in elementary, a good kid, a good student in elementary school. Oh no! What did you run into? Did you crush your hand? I told you podcasting is dangerous. Are you all right over there?
Yes. You know what I was doing? I was trying to get a rag to wipe my glasses, and I got my finger. This finger stuck in between my. I don't know. It crushed it. It crushed my finger. Ooh, it's gonna leave a bruise under my fingernail. Okay, go on. So you were must have been like what, 5th grade?
So I'll say middle school because I know my grades were bad. So that's where all the story comes from. So I was a good student in elementary school, and when I got to middle school, it all went downhill. But I remember I got in trouble in school for something. I can't remember what it was. Probably grades. Probably something else stupid I did. But I remember right around the same time, I was a huge wrestling fan, huge WWF fan, right? And I would watch wrestling. When you're a kid, you're going to buy whatever they tell you to buy, right? They show you something on TV, you're like, oh, I want to get that. And they came out with the WWF Aggression album. I think that's the right one. Yeah, this is it. The WWE Aggression album. Can I show this on screen? Hold on, I think this is it. Aggression. So this is it here.
Oh my god!
I don't know what happens if I click this. Where's it going to take me?
The R is backwards. It's going to really mess up with people with dyslexia.
That's how you know it's edgy, because they put the R backwards. Aggression. And these were rap, like hip hop remixes of a bunch of wrestlers' intro music, like their theme music, right? So, every wrestler, when they come out with, their pyrotechnics and they come out with the video and then they have a song, right? And this was them, the hip hop artists like remixing the theme music. And it was like, if you look on here, it was like Run DMC, ODB, Method Man, Snoop Dogg. Like there's a bunch of people who did these remixes.
Wow. Did they have to pay for that? Like, did the WWE or F people have to pay the artist to use their song to come out to? I'm just curious.
I think they already own the music, the theme music for the wrestlers, and then these rappers came in and like they made remixes with like in collaboration with the WWF
to turn around and sell it. Okay.
Yeah. And so then for this period of time when this album came out, the wrestlers would be using these remixes for their intro music, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get this. So I remember
I have to get that.
I have no choice but to get this CD. So I get the CD. Obviously, my dad had to take me to go get it. I couldn't drive to go get it. And
Yeah.
I remember I must have played it in the car, and there was a ton of cussing in this. They're cussing like crazy in this CD, like nonstop. Because just looking at the people who were on this, I can understand what was going on. So I
Yeah.
remember I must have gotten in trouble at school, and my dad was like, "See, this is why you're getting in trouble. This bad influences from this music." All this cussing, and I'm thinking, I didn't dare say this out loud, but I'm thinking, you guys cuss way more than anybody I know. That I hear more cuss words from both my parents than I'm hearing in this CD. And I remember I must have gotten in trouble. I must have gotten in like big trouble. I don't even remember what I did, but I remember he was like, that's it. I made him mad. He took the CD and broke it on the staircase. I remember I was upstairs.
You know what that's the equivalent of?
What?
It's the equivalent of taking your cassette and just checking out all the
Pulling out all the tape.
pulling out all the tape and then ripping it. That's what the equivalent is.
Yeah, for you kids out there who are listening to cassettes, that's the equivalent. And I remember I was at the top of the
I cannot believe
stairs.
people are listening to cassettes.
Allison,
ridiculous.
I couldn't even begin to tell you this. But yeah, I was at the top of the stairs, and I see him at the bottom of the steps, and he took it and he just broke it over the bottom of the handrail. And I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe you. I'm not, mind you, I'm not saying any of this out loud. This is all in my head. I'm like, I can't believe he would do this.
Were you aggressive after that?
No, what? So I can
Did
get beat
your
up?
aggression come out?
I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna be aggressive. and so I was like, oh, I can't believe it. But he was so mad. And then I remember like days later, he came to me. He was like, I'm really sorry I broke your CD. And he went and bought the CD for me again. He felt so bad that he had broke my CD that he went back to the store and bought another one. He was like, I was just really mad about what you were doing in school, and I just I shouldn't have done that.
Oh my gosh. Dang, Papa Brownie.
It's so funny. Like my parents, they were nice. Like, my dad would, he wasn't abusive or anything like that. But anytime he had to discipline us, he felt so bad. Like he would feel so bad and come talk to us afterwards. He's like, I feel really bad about that. He's like, I just need you to do better. And then it would be fine. He always felt so bad anytime he had to like tell us something or we would get in trouble.
It was so uncomfortable when he had to come back and like tell you how bad he felt, right? That you're like, I don't want to go through this again.
But you know what? I respect that. Like for him to be like, to a kid, he didn't have to do that. For him to come and say, you know what? I'm sorry. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I know a lot of people, their parents would not say that.
I say sorry to my kids when I lose it. We have a safe word. I have a safe word, especially with my oldest son. Hold on, stop. Whenever like he is yelling, or if I start like, okay. You have to understand, he's moving into this like teenage land.
Oh man, I'd feel sorry for you.
And it's like, it's just different. It's just the attitude is different. And so we have a word that I said, listen, I think I read it in a parenting book actually, where you choose a word that's totally random, that when you say that word, what it means is that your tone is unkind to me, essentially. Like you need to watch your tone. You're being ugly. You have an ugly tone kind of thing. So we will use that word, and then it's banana. And we will literally, like, I'll be like, if he's like yelling, I'll say banana, and he'll pause and he'll say, I really want to go play outside with my friends. Like he'll like take it, and it just pauses, right? Like your dad needed I don't know why I brought that up. Your dad needed a safe word. I don't know.
Safe word. Maybe like The Rock, when you're like a wrestling theme safe word. The people's elbow. Everyone calms down. What was that?
The people's elbow?
You don't know about
Who's
the people's
that?
elbow? Oh, Allison, it's The Rock. It's one of his special moves.
Is that where he goes down like this?
I mean, kind of. You've never seen the people's elbow. Okay.
I mean, I might have. Is that where you jump from the top?
No.
And you jump down with your arm? What's that?
Okay, hold on. I got to find this. Hopefully this doesn't get this video taken down as I go and find this video of him doing the people's elbow.
I mean, I could really live without it. It's fine, really.
Okay, here,
really,
I'm gonna find it. I found it.
No, it's fine. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
the people's elbow. It's when you take your elbows and you chase after each other.
No,
like you're gonna tickle them.
Yeah, exactly. This is the people's elbow right here.
Great.
Okay.
There we go.
So he takes his armband off. The guy's on the ground right there. He jumps over them. Here we go. It hits him with
It's so
the
fake.
people's elbow. Look at that. That move is it's just it ripped the soul from his body. It's just so devastating. Look at that.
And who is that?
This is The Rock, the most
He
electrifying
used to
man in
be a
sports
wrestler?
entertainment. Get out of here, Allison. You know who The Rock is.
Well, I know the Rock is like the actor.
You don't know that The Rock was a wrestler?
Well,
You're trolling me now. You know he was a wrestler.
no. He was a wrestler for like, was he popular? I knew him with his eyes. He had the eyes.
What do you mean he's
come out with him in the eyes? When was The Rock popular on wrestling?
The Rock was popular for a long time as a wrestler.
How long? Years.
Like
Give me
years as like the most popular.
What years?
I don't know.
Like
from
2000?
like 1998, 97 to like 2012.
That's probably when I stopped watching.
Yeah, it was like
I didn't watch wrestling. Once I found out it was fake,
I
stopped watching it.
It's not fake. It's just scripted.
It's acting.
But yeah, I can't believe The Rock was the most popular wrestler at one point in time.
Okay, here's my question. How do you go from The Rock being a wrestler? Look, Logan knows 1998 to 2002. So I wasn't watching wrestling then. I was watching it pre that. I was watching like Ric Flair and
How old are you? Yeah, you must be old.
I'm your age. I was watching Ric Flair. I was probably watching it I was probably too young to be watching it because it's what my brother was watching. And he's the one who got to pick the TV shows, right? But what was I saying before that?
I have no idea. Something about The Rock being
Oh,
popular.
The Rock. How did he go from being a wrestler to being so popular today? Because you don't see many other people that do that.
You don't. He started getting in movies. He got like in, I think he was in The Mummy, and then he was probably in something else. I don't know his whole career.
Mummy?
Yeah, and then he got like that. Don't you remember that spinoff movie? It was like The Scorpion King.
I don't remember that. I remember seeing The Mummy in theaters and being like, why would my parents make me watch this? They were terrible people.
Why? Because it was scary?
But I was, yes, when that stuff coming out of that mouth, oh my gosh. That, and I remember, okay, here's a funny story.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this was the scariest movie I ever saw. But I do want to say though, I watched wrestling because my brother watched it. So you have to realize he's older than me. So he's 18 months older than us, grade level older. And I stopped around the time of like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and how that was like the biggest feud. So I didn't watch anything after.
You were way back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch any wrestling after that. And that's really like when my brother kind of got out of it too. So wrestling wasn't ever on in our house then. So I've never seen The Rock wrestle. Like that's news to me. But I will say that speaking of The Mummy, which is going to bring me up to this, my mom was very adamant when we were growing up that that we could not watch PG-13 movies. Like we just could not do it. And which I mean, like, I feel like PG back then, because they didn't start coming out with PG-13 movies until when?
I think they've been PG-13 movies for a while, right?
But when? Google it. You're good at that. My mom said it was PG and then R. And they didn't have anything in between.
Let's see. 1984 is when they started using PG-13, according to Google.
Well, regardless, my brother convinced my mom to let him see Independence Day.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Because it was super popular, right? So did you see that in theaters?
No, I don't think I did. When did that movie come out?
No, because you were too young.
Probably.
So,
let's see.
Yeah.
It came out in...
How old were we?
Oh, 1996. We were old enough. We were 9.
How old? 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that, so we were maybe like in 4th grade, 3rd grade.
I'm sure I didn't go to the movies though, but I saw it for sure when it came out on VHS.
Yeah. So I remember my brother wanting to see Independence Day, and he told my mom, like, everyone's watching it. Everyone's going to have seen it. I'm going to be the only one in my class. Like, can I please see it? Because she was really adamant about, like, no PG-13 movies. And it was PG-13. So she decided, okay, I'll go ahead and take you. And your younger sister. And I didn't want to see Independence Day. I had had no desire to keep up with everyone in my class, but I got dragged along to the most terrifying movie ever. I tell you,
Terrifying.
that
It was not
scene,
scary.
you don't know. You did not see it in theaters where it was massive. And whenever they're looking and there's that foggy scene up against that glass, and then that dead guy hits the thing and it's the alien. Most terrifying thing ever.
I love
That
that
and
you were
Sixth Sense. I
traumatized
saw
by
that in
Independence
theaters.
Day.
I was traumatized by Independence Day. That, Indiana Jones, when they pull out the heart. I remember being 4 years old. This is one of my earliest memories.
You were
This is
watching
one of
some
my
stuff you
earliest.
should not have been watching.
It was one of my earliest memories because it was PG. Because they didn't have PG-13, I think, when that one came out. It was the Temple of Doom. And I remember my brother was watching it with my dad. And I came out of my room and I see the man holding the heart that he just ripped out of someone and it's on fire. And I just remember screaming and running to the other end of the house and being like, what is happening?
That is okay. You know, I didn't see those Indiana Jones movies until I was an adult, like in my late 20s. That was when I finally saw
I grew
Indiana
up on
Jones.
them. Yeah. 4 years old. 4 years old.
That might have been too early for you.
Yeah, I think
Okay, wait.
so.
All right. I think this is the scene here.
Oh, which one?
Okay, is this it here? This is the heart.
Oh, this is it. Yes. Have you seen it?
Can I click this? I don't even know where this is. I think I've seen this movie once, but yeah, there he is with this flaming heart in his hand.
I mean, it's like Indiana Jones is good. I like Indiana Jones. I grew up on them, but realize like I grew up with a brother and I was the younger sister, so I didn't get to watch what I wanted to watch.
You're just
So
watching
I grew
everything
up
he wanted.
watching. Yeah, I grew up on wrestling. I grew up on Indiana Jones. I grew up playing GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
Oh, he steered you right. That's the game. That's the game that defined my childhood. That was like the first game where all my friends got together in the garage and we were playing. We're jumping in the vent in the bathroom, chopping people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He would always let me play with Oddjob because Oddjob was so short he was harder to kill, because otherwise it wasn't fun for him to play with me because I would die so fast. But it was like so anxiety inducing to play these games, and he would just be like, come on, one more game. I mean, it was rough.
Your brother got you access to all the cool stuff. Imagine how boring you would have been if it wouldn't have been for him.
I would have been playing with Barbies. I didn't get to play with Barbies. I didn't have a Barbie dream house. I didn't play with Barbies. I remember him going outside and being like, we have to practice the figure 4 wrestling move from Ric Flair. I know it to this day. I could take you down with the figure 4.
But then did you also learn the reversal? You have to know the reverse as well.
Oh, I know the reversal because he made me practice.
He prepared you for life. Like there's nothing else out there that could have prepared you for life more than learning the figure 4 leg lock. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it saved my life. I'm just saying. Can't tell you.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness, this was fun.
Wait, okay. All right. So we actually have something on the agenda, right?
Wait, I want to say what this person said. Detective CB says Will Smith made last year's Oscars a PG-13 event.
I couldn't read that before I put that up on the screen. Oh, okay. Let's see what else. We had some more comments in here. Let's see. So Shirley said that there was M for mature for a while. So there was movies that were rated M. I don't remember that.
So they don't have those?
I've never seen an M-rated movie.
I've never seen an M-rated movie. Now is it just X? I don't know. I've never seen that, but I remember knowing that
it existed.
I remember knowing it existed, but I don't even know. Like, were those even played in theaters?
I have no idea. I'm sure Logan will pop in the comments with some history that he already knows about.
Come on, Logan.
Movie ratings.
Fill us in.
Detective CV also said there's an episode of Young Rock where he reacts to wrestling being called fake. It's the F word in wrestling. It is. You can't be calling wrestling fake, Allison. That's shameful to use that word.
I legit thought it was real. I was like every Thursday night. I legit thought it was real. And my world was shattered when I found that it was fake. And I stopped watching. I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Oh, do you see my cat?
I can't believe you missed The Rock wrestling. What's going on back there? Just chilling.
Jesus. Yeah. She's so sweet.
Okay, so today, what I had planned for us was an episode of what we call Am I the Awkward One, which slightly revamped rules because Allison can't play this game, right? We've in the past, I'm like, here, Allison, just look up some awkward stories. She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And she comes back with a story about somebody walking into a closet. So Allison's been banned from finding stories.
Basically, Chris thinks my stories aren't good enough. Just say it.
We all know the stories aren't good enough, Allison. They're
My stories were fine. They made me laugh.
You were chuckling way too hard at the most random stories I've ever heard in my life. So I said, Allison, let's revamp this, all right? I already had a list of stories I had sitting here. I was like, I didn't want them to go to waste. So I said, let's do this a little bit differently. Let's try it out this way. So instead of us doing our normal rating system, let's just talk about these as if we're doing an episode of This Is Awkward, but these are just some random, weird, awkward internet stories that I came across, all right?
Okay, I might have some awkward ones too.
No, you're not allowed to.
I do have an awkward situation.
Allison, you're banned.
I have one left.
No.
I have one left.
You want to prove why you're not allowed? Okay, go ahead and prove why you're not allowed to do this anymore.
I think I already shared this one. Got into the passenger seat of the wrong car outside of Starbucks. The driver waited until I finished my phone call to tell me.
Yeah, you told that one like 3 times now at this point. Look at you, just cackling. You're just having the best time of your life over there.
It's so funny.
So that for everyone who hasn't caught it before, that is why Allison is banned from providing her stories. So,
oh my gosh.
All right, we're gonna run through some of these I have here, and they're a little bit longer. These are full on breakdowns. So strap yourself in, Allison, and I want to hear your response on these. Okay.
Okay.
Right,
I found some more.
No, shut your phone down.
When you think someone waves at you, so you wave back, but they were waving at someone behind you. I hate it when that happens. It's so awkward. Okay.
Okay. By the way, Beth Ann said this segment is fun, so she does enjoy this still. So we gotta keep it alive. Good. We gotta keep it going. All right. So buckle yourself in. Okay. All right. So this is the story. My mother has booked her hotel room next to us on our wedding night. And it's called, the title of this is Monster-in-Law. So
wait, my mother-in-law?
My mother has booked her hotel room next to us on our wedding night.
Inappropriate.
So he said, I'm a 26-year-old female and I'm getting married in August next year. I wanted to be prepared for the potential wedding boom that could happen in my country next year and booked everything already now so that I don't have to stress over the details later. My father gifted me and my future husband a suite to stay in during the wedding at one of the finest hotels in my town. When Mom found out that we got a suite for my dad, she booked 2 suites in the same hotel for her, my stepdad, and my brother. She made a big deal that I and my hubby picked our suite first so she wouldn't reserve that suite by mistake. My parents have been divorced for 23 years and have been doing petty things like this to one-up each other over my whole life, so it's nothing new and I'm just shaking it off and continuing with my life. Yesterday, Mom called me and wanted to tell me that she has now booked the suites and what nice staff there are at the hotel. They are so service oriented. They said it wouldn't be a problem to book her suite right next to you and hubby's suite. Quite honestly, I was a bit dumbfounded when I heard that. I don't know if I'm oversensitive or being unreasonable, but if there's one thing I don't want, is spending my wedding night with my mom in the next room. Now I have to take time out of my day to contact the hotel to prevent this.
That is this mother needs freaking boundaries. Like, this is ridiculous. I am sorry. This is absurd. This is like, this isn't just the weirdest freaking thing.
That is so weird.
That is weird. But you know what? I wouldn't trust the mom to fix it.
No.
I think it's right to bypass the mom.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I would do is I would say, okay, you need to change this. Or no, what I would do is I would change it and they'd be like, okay, I changed it. That's weird, Mom. That's what I would say.
Why would you look? She has kids, so she knows what happens. Why would you want to be next to your kid?
What happens?
Well, on the wedding night, the new couple goes into the room together, right? They get in there, they shut the door, they lock it, and then they open up the window because the stork is going to fly in with a brand new little baby for them. But if anyone sees the
I was
stork,
like, how far is he taking this?
no, she knows what's going to happen in that room. Why would you want to even have the faint possibility that you could hear what's going to happen in that room?
Yeah, I think that this mom has zero boundaries. I think that she's trying to this is just weird. This reminds me of that mom of that. Have you ever seen is it Bad Christmas or Bad Mom's Christmas or Mom's Bad Christmas? Or
I don't think I've seen any combination of those three words as a movie title, but
what is it? What is it? It was just out. The Ultimatum France. Hold on, let me focus.
Are you over there looking at me?
A Bad Mom's Christmas. And so what it does is it follows these three moms, but these three moms who are like, our age, like Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell.
Oh,
anyway, so
this is like a franchise. Isn't there a bunch of these movies?
I don't think so. Oh, I'm trying to. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
If so, then I need to. No, this is it. So anyway, one of the moms, Kristen Bell's mom, is like super clingy, and she goes to bed at night, and her husband kind of start like making out, and they hear a noise, and they turn the light on, and her mom's like sitting in a corner in a chair, and she's like, "Mom," and she's like, "Oh, I just want to watch you the way I used to when you were little."
Okay, no, that's weird. That's
but
weird.
It's funny because it's a movie. No. But this is reminds me of that. This reminds me of like she wanted to watch her sleep. Like, this is just too close. There's just not enough boundaries. Like, it's just too weird.
Yeah, of all the nights. I guess if you're just on a family vacation, like, we want our rooms to be adjoining.
Course.
Even then, it's a little like, I don't need your room to be right next to mine. But even then, like, I can understand that more so than the wedding night.
If Chris is going to go on vacation with you, he really doesn't want to see you.
Well, here's the thing.
He just wants you to be really far away from him.
It's not that, but
at all times.
Look, if you're on vacation, there's still the possibility of, to keep this PG, what happened on your honeymoon could happen on a vacation. So do you really want to be sharing a wall with your family, with your parents? I don't think so. I don't think that would be a great idea.
I wouldn't want to. No, absolutely not. I think this is incredibly inappropriate. I think she should call the hotel, say, "You've got to move my mom." I'm just afraid that the hotel will be like, "Oh, we can't."
That's the thing, right? Like,
how many suites are there?
All the suites we have. We've booked them all. Also, why is she booking suites for everybody? Like, she's booking a suite for herself, for the girl's stepdad, for her son. Like, she's booking suites for everybody. They're gonna be surrounded on both sides. They're gonna have no peace.
Yeah. No, this is awkward. This is real awkward.
That was.
I don't like it.
I was actively angry for the person who wrote this because that. I don't even understand. I would to be safe, I might even just move to a different hotel. I'm like, I'm just gonna find a whole new hotel. They're not even gonna know where I'm gonna be at. I'm booking a different hotel.
Well, you don't want to do that because her dad bought the suite for her as a gift to be nice.
This dad clearly knows that this lady's crazy. So you can be like, "Hey, Dad, I had to cancel that room. I booked it over here. If you still want to pay for it, I'll send you the receipt. But we gotta keep this quiet because I'm moving hotels and I don't want her to know where I'm at."
To the last minute, you just don't show up. She's knocking on the door, and some random person opens up. She don't want her to know because she'll switch hotels.
Nope, she can't know. This woman can't be trusted. She can only know after I'm checking out. When I'm checking out, then she can know where I was.
You know what I really hope? I really hope that hearing stories like this makes me think about the kind of mother I don't want to be. And it makes me realize okay, Allison, don't do that. I feel like I try to take mental notes of when I see and I'm not talking about judging. I'm just saying okay, how did that make that person feel? I don't want my children to feel that way.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that to them.
Because there's no recovery from this. No recovery from this.
I can't believe Ooh, I can tell you right now, Matt would be so freaking annoyed. He would say something to my mom. He would say, "Kathleen, this is not appropriate." That's how Matt is. But my mom wouldn't do this. But Matt would say "No, this isn't appropriate. You can't do that." He would.
You have to address this because that's weird. Even if it's not even your
if you're
mom.
gonna have boundaries ever, Your wedding night should be one of them.
If there's only one point in your entire life
Yes.
where you can tell someone to leave me alone, I think that's the day. That's the one day.
Yep. You get whatever you want on that day.
Oh man. Oh.
And if it's not your mom, you don't get your mom. That's how it works.
Oh yeah. No. Okay. All right. I got one more for you here. Okay. I haven't read this one in a while, so I don't even know what this is.
And then I have some for you that I found.
Oh God. All right, go. I'll let you
Do
go.
you want me to do one next?
Yeah, you want.
Okay, let me find it.
Why don't you go next?
Let me go to my.
Even though you're banned from doing this, you're expressly banned from finding
awkward
stories.
situations to rate. Where is it? Awkward story. This is awkward. Oh, did I lose it? Awkward stories.
Oh no, did you lose it? Oh man.
Well, hold on. Nope.
I guess we gotta move on.
Rapid fire awkward situations. Here we go. Oh, I just did the waving one. Oh, here's another one. When you've had multiple interactions with someone, but you can't remember their name, but it's gone too far to admit you've forgotten it, so you just have to call them buddy or hey man forever.
You know, this reminds me of, I've been doing a binge of Seinfeld. Do you watch Seinfeld?
I have never seen Seinfeld.
You've never seen Seinfeld?
No.
Okay.
Never.
So,
but Matt and I are binging The Walking Dead. Similar, but different.
Very close. Very close. But this, okay, you need to watch it. It's on Netflix. But there's an episode where Jerry is dating a woman and he forgets her name. But he's already in too deep now. And he's like, I can't ask her name. We've already gone on a date. And so he spends the episode trying to figure out what her name is. And she was like, I think at some point, he was like, yeah, our kids are so mean and they make fun of your name. People used to make fun of my name all the time. She's like, oh yeah, tell me about it. He's like, that's what happens when your name rhymes with the part of a woman's body. And that's all she says. And the whole episode, he's going around asking his friends to help him guess what this woman's name is. And it is.
Wait, can I get, do we find out what it is?
You find out at the end. You do.
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah, I want to hear you guess.
Do you remember it? Is it appropriate?
I mean, the name's appropriate because it's just a name.
Regina. Regina. What? Is that it? Did I get it?
No, that's not it.
Is it Regina?
No.
Regina?
All those people named Regina walking around.
I guess not. Celeste.
What?
Celeste rhymes with breast.
I mean, kind of.
Okay, I give up. What is it? Give me a first letter.
D.
Part of a woman's body?
Yes.
What body part does it rhyme with?
I can't tell you.
Just point then.
That's just giving away the answer. Okay, I'll tell you the name.
Doobie.
Well, what are you gonna watch the episode? I don't want to spoil it for you. But okay, it's 30 years old at this point. Okay. It's Dolores is the name.
Dolores.
Yes. That ends up
what
being.
What does it rhyme with?
Use your imagination.
Dolores.
You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you. I want you to figure it out. I think one day it's just gonna click, and you're gonna be like, "Oh."
Should I be embarrassed right now?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so how are you gonna Google this? Because that's what you're doing right now. I want to know how you're gonna possibly Google this.
Seinfeld woman's name Dolores. Seinfeld Dolores name. Oh, her real name is Susan Walters.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah, that sounds like a very Aww. Oh, I would have never gotten that.
You think watching all those horrible movies when you were a kid, you would have gotten that one, I'm sure they said that at Independence Day.
No. It was just really scary. I was going to say vampires, but aliens. Okay, read me your next one.
Okay, here's my next one.
We went through my hilarious one.
I mean, my side is still hurting from yours. All right, here we go.
I know.
All right. My female 38 friend Wait, here we go. Here we go. I'm a female, 38. My friend is a female,
Okay.
34. Smells so bad, I gagged when she got into my car the other day. Thank God she didn't see me. We get together quite a bit now, and we live in the same city, but she doesn't have a car, so I pick her up. I didn't see her often before she moved so much closer. I didn't know this was an issue till she did. The other day was over 95 degrees, and I was sweating really bad too. But I thoroughly bathe, use good quality deodorant, and I wear fresh clothes. The basics, you know. I have no idea how to address this or if I should. I have no idea how she's never been called out by her work. She works closely with others and even in air conditioning, she reeks. It's worse and worse now as the height of the summer is here. I have given her toiletries when she moved here, including some really nice scented soaps and deodorant, and she truly must not use them, or she ran out and didn't buy new ones. She told me before she just washes her clothes with no detergent if she runs out because that's better than nothing. I don't know what to do. Help. That is the story.
Wow.
I don't
Wow.
even know how can you recover from telling someone that they stink? Like, is that a possibility? Can you tell someone that and then just continue to just be normal friends after that? Like, is that even
I
possible?
could tell you. I could tell you. Why are you so surprised?
Well, I guess that means it's a good thing I don't stink then, because you haven't told me this yet. Because you were like, "Oh yeah, I would tell you.
Because
I would tell you."
I would tell you. Well, like I could tell you. I could.
I don't know if
Like,
I could tell you. Honestly,
I
I don't know if I could. If you were next to me and I was like, "Oh my god," I don't know if I could tell you that. Honestly.
okay, first off, I want you to tell me, please. Okay, so if for some reason this ever happens, not that we ever see each other, but if the one time a year or one time every 2 years we're in person, if I stink, please tell me. Just be like, dude, you need a shower. Just that's all you have to say. Or you just say the word shower.
So do you? Okay, but then you got to be discreet, right? You can't just like say it around other people. You got to be like,
Absolutely, you be
you
discreet.
gotta
I
pull
want
you
you
to
to
the
pull
side.
me aside in this hypothetical situation that I stop bathing. I want you to pull me aside and I want you to... Oh my gosh. I can't. Hold on.
I just saw
We have
this.
some breaking news. This is breaking news. Speaking of smelling, Logan, Chris's childhood friend, just left a message on Discord that said, when we were kids, I told Chris he smelled like onions because he's a true friend. He's going to tell you the truth. And he was concerned about you always smelling like onions. He went into his house, came back out about a half hour later, not smelling like onions because you went and you showered, yes?
I don't remember this at all. I have no recollection of this, but
Logan's
I
a
100%
true
believe
friend.
it. I 100% believe he would do this. When
That
you're a
was
kid,
probably
you really
BO.
don't know. You don't know when you're a kid. You're walking around
No,
smelling
you don't
horrible.
know. You don't know when you're a kid. You don't know when you're a kid. And like I
Oh.
remember whenever I taught 4th and 5th grade, it was like the soon as springtime hit. I mean, I had deodorant conversations, like just mass conversations, like you guys got to put on deodorant. And then I would have conversations with the parents emailing, please make sure your child has deodorant. But still, even if they would wear it, they would go outside and play and they'd come back smelling bad. So I am like adamant about Evan putting on deodorant and myself as well.
Okay, so
But
if you,
I could tell you, I would pull you aside at the conference.
I don't
and I
like,
were at a
I don't like all these
conference
stories
together.
around me now. I don't give it when you were the scenario.
And I would just tell you how I would do it. I would pull you aside. Now I only have to see you like once every year or once every 2 years. I would pull you aside and I would be like, you need to go shower. Kind of like, you know how you tell people if they have something on their teeth, right? Like you're doing them a favor.
But it feels
I
so
wouldn't do
weird,
that favor
right?
for you.
I would obviously I
wouldn't
would
feel weird,
appreciate
would
that.
you?
But I'm like, it would
Yeah.
I feel so uncomfortable approaching someone that I know and being like, hey, you know what, you're a little ripe there. Maybe too because like,
But you know
oh, go ahead.
what?
No, I was gonna say maybe because
I was going to say,
you're a woman. Like I feel like the boundaries. I'm like with a
okay.
guy. I feel like Logan. Clearly, we can say it
Should
to
you
each
be
other.
smelling me?
Well, no,
You're
but
like,
if
should I even smell her?
if the smell was so strong that it's wafted to my nostrils,
Mhm.
then it would be really weird. But I guess I would have to. You've given me authorization that I need to now do this if this happens.
Please do so. And here's the deal. I don't think that you should feel weird because you would know that it would be the exception, not the rule.
Mm.
That's where this is all different. Think about it. Okay? This would be the exception for most people, not the rule kind of
True,
thing.
like a one-off. Like you
This is
don't normally
Yes,
smell,
this
but I'm
is just
smelling
a
something right now.
exactly. Like maybe you just got really tired and you fell asleep and you didn't have time to shower and you woke up and it was time for you to go to work and so you went because you didn't want to be late, yada yada. This is the rule for this person.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would not hang out with them anymore. Like I don't know what I would
So you would
do.
just ghost them? You
Okay,
just like, oh, sorry, I'm not available.
okay, no. Here's my question. Actually, I think we can all relate this to something that we've all been through.
Okay.
Have you ever had a friend or someone that you had to spend time around, whether it was a coworker or a friend or just anyone, family member, and their breath always stinks,
Ooh,
right?
I've worked with people like that before.
Yes, right. And it's not that you're sitting super close to them, but you could be across the table and smell it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So would you tell that person that their breath stinks?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
I
So
couldn't
you're
do
not
it.
going to tell the person that their entire body stinks.
That's too hard. Like you can say you have something in your teeth, but to go as far as to say something coming off of your body smells, that's how I don't know if I could. I don't even know. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it, Allison. Maybe
I
if it
don't
was
think
my
I could
brother,
either.
like if it was, it has to be someone with like I have no boundaries with. Like that's the only way. Like my brother, I can be like, hey man, like maybe I don't even know Logan. Maybe I could. We've known each other since we were kids, and I feel like I could. But here's the thing: I've never been put in that position by a friend as an adult, so I'm grateful for that. I don't know what would happen if I was forced into this situation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I don't know. I think about it like that, but that's a tough one, and I feel like she's tried, like she said, to gift her deodorants and soaps and everything like that. Is that the full story? That's all we know.
That's the full story. So we don't know anything else about it. She just gives the TLDR. My
Do
friend
they live in
literally
the
stinks.
South and the North?
Yeah,
Because that makes a difference,
it
doesn't
just
it?
well, it gets somewhere where it gets to 95 degrees, over 95 degrees in the summer. The humidity takes it to a
Isn't that a
whole
lot
other
of
level.
places?
Like that's a lot of sweat your body's generating if you're in the South somewhere.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be too nervous.
Are there any of your friends? Not saying that they have been in this situation, but do you have friends that you would tell them?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Like I would tell Amanda. Yeah. Like I do have friends that I would tell.
Okay. But it's
Um,
like a special.
maybe
It's a special
one,
relationship, right?
maybe
Like
like I would tell my brother.
yeah, you can
I
always
would
tell a brother.
tell like one friend. I would tell my family member because they have to love you after you tell them you break this news. Like they can't ditch you, right? And I would tell. I would tell Matt. I would tell my kids,
That's an easy
and
one.
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would tell you.
I would want you
I
to.
think
I'll
I
give you
would because I
permission
would
as
see
well.
it.
I would love for you to tell me that.
Okay, you know what I would do is I would see it as I'm just looking out for you because I know that you sweat more than I do, and I just want you to know that your sweat's embarrassing you. Go take a shower or wash your clothes.
Well,
Not in
thank
a
you.
mean way. This is coming off really mean, but I'm thinking like, when have I ever seen you? I always see you when we're at a conference.
True.
So
True.
my thing would be, I don't want you walking around all these people smelling bad.
I
So
respect that. I would appreciate that.
I would pull you aside and I would say, "Hey, I think you're sweating too much in this conference. You should go take a quick shower and change your clothes because you kind of smell a little bit. Because you
Here's the
smell like
thing.
sweat. That's
Here's the
what I would
thing.
say. You would smell like sweat.
If someone tells you that, it's gonna hurt your feelings, but then you still gotta deal with the
It,
reality of that's what you smell like, and you gotta go fix it.
well, but would you rather me, as a friend,
Oh
would
no,
you rather me
I want to
let you
know.
walk around the conference? Thank you.
No, I
I would
need
want
to
to know
know.
too.
I need to know because I think it's whatever small embarrassment you feel by having someone tell that to you. Imagine you go the whole day and then you realize it yourself, and then you're like, I don't know when this
Yeah,
started. How long? Who have I interacted with smelling like this? Yeah, no.
exactly. See, I got you. Do you have my back?
Reluctantly, I have your back on this. I don't want to, but I'll do
Thank
it.
you.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
Those are my two stories I had for you today in this
Those
edition
are
of
good.
Am I the Awkward One?
Almost as good as mine,
See,
but
Allison,
still good.
see how these were full stories, fleshed out. You got situations, you
Yes.
got people going on in this, you know.
I see that. I see
Right, I
it.
told Allison that okay, this is my segment now, and now she has to come up with her own segment. So we're gonna. It could just be.
I
It could
can
just be
try.
Allison comes up. Allison story time is its own segment. Just Allison sits and tells us a story like that. What you busted out with the whole NSYNC concert, that alone was a masterpiece.
Oh, I loved that concert. It was the best concert ever.
Yeah, I don't think
Cisco. Ooh,
we don't have enough episodes to contain all your awkward stories, so we gotta let them spill over into Patreon, so we can set aside
they're
time
not
for
even
that.
awkward. I
They're
wouldn't say they're
amazing.
awkward. Like that Cisco conference wasn't. That's a Cisco conference. Can you imagine Cisco putting on a conference? He's like, I wanted to have a conversation about all the different types of thongs out there.
Like,
So
it's
we're gonna
not
have a
just a
conference.
thong. You simply do not sing about a thong. You embody the thong.
You embody a thong. We're gonna meditate about thongs in thongs, and then we're gonna have a breakout sessions.
Thong Kong 2023.
Oh. Thong God.
Everyone buy your tickets now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, this was good.
This was fun.
Good time back.
All right, I think it's time for you to go to sleep. You've stayed up
I'm
and been
exhausted.
very alert all this time. We appreciate
Thank you.
you soldiering on. So yeah, I think it's time to let you go. So we're gonna get out of here.
Yep. Okay. Thank you to everyone who joined us live. Logan, Angie, Shirley.
Beth
Who else
Ann.
do we have? Beth Ann.
I saw
Direct-
Detective
Directive.
CV. Directive
Who
CV.
else was in here? I don't know. See, I can't even read.
Yeah, go ahead and rest your eyes.
So
now.
thank you guys. I will do that. But okay, we'll be back when? In 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, so we'll
When
be
will we
back in 2 weeks. So if you're catching this live right now, it is January 5th. So we'll be back again on January 19th.
Yep. We'll see you then.
We will see you then. Let me go back over so I can stop this. Bye.
Bye.